Hi guys. I didn't press the live button. I did not press the live button. I sat here for a whole hour talking and the live button wasn't on. Well, anyway, welcome to Good Politicking with T. I guess we're gonna start this over again. I'm talking, I'm thinking people in the chat. I did not press the live button. Oh my god. Okay, so let's start this over. Let's start this over. I can't believe I was just talking that whole time and did not press the live button. Wow. 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 Well, anyway, today is Tuesday, September 24th. Um, I did this live. I'm doing this live to shed some light on these indictments that's going on in New York. Even though I talked about the whole thing already for an hour to myself. This is what happens when you first start out. Like, I'm not even embarrassed. I'm not, I'm just, I'm, I can't believe that I did that. But, like I said, welcome to Hood Politicking with T, a safe space where you can learn about, engage, and speak on political conversations with the urban twist. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about the NYC indictments. I'm sorry for the delay because I really thought I was talking to you guys for a whole hour just now. And I wasn't because I didn't press the live button. So let's get into this because now I'm live and I can really get into this. So, like I said, this live is about the NYC indictments. Um, our mayor has been indicted along with 16 other co-conspirators with 3 to 4 different charges intertwined into this indictment. As I go through everybody's case and I put everything together, I give you everybody's names. It's all going to come back to Mayor Adams. Think of it as a web. He's in the middle of the web, and we're spreading out. So we'll start with his case. So Mayor Adams has been indicted on charges of re-election donation fraud. So basically, he is accused of using straw donations. A straw donation is when you donate money to a campaign, but you don't donate it in your name. You use somebody else's name to donate the money. So you donate this money in somebody else's name, and then um, basically they can like pull it out of the campaign and use it for personal use. So Mayor Adams has been accused of that with 3 other staff members. Um, Brianna Scruggs, which is his campaign manager, his reelection campaign manager. So this is not an inquiry for the first election that he won to become mayor. This is for the current election that he's running for because he's up for reelection. So his campaign manager, the director of protocol for international affairs, her name is I'm sorry, Abasavo. Brianna is Brianna Shrunk. She's the head of his fundraising committee, his re-election fundraising committee. Winnie Garko, which is the City Hall's Asian Affairs Director, and Sant Okal, which is the general manager for Turkish Air. So let me break it down why somebody's even on this indictment for Turkish Air. So basically, like I said, he's accused of using straw donations, which basically is like a front to put money into the campaign, and actually can take it back out without, I guess, them knowing who did what. He is charged with getting $80 million worth of donations but through straw donations. And he's being accused of getting these straw donations from the Turkish government. So he is the only one in this part of the indictment that actually has been charged. Well, no, I'm lying. Let me bring it back. Out of the 4 people that I just said, he is being charged now. Rianne, who is the director of protocol for international affairs, she has already been charged and took a plea and is now a witness for the prosecution. Brianna, which is his head campaign fundraising manager, she hasn't been charged, but they did raid her house to get certain documents in connection with him being involved with the Turkish government. So basically, not only did he break the law and use these straw donations, but he's also conspiring with the Turkish government. They're accusing him of conspiring with the Turkish government, which this guy sent, which is the general manager for Turkish Air. That's where he comes in. So Rianne, she made a statement. She said she was complicit in the fact that, you know, he was doing all these underhanded things with the donations, and she's also been there and complicit with him making certain deals with these Turkish officials. So they're not, he hasn't like spoken to the Turkish president or anything like that. He's speaking to like their head of the army and their most prominent business people, the rich people in Turkey and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't go all the way to the president on the Turkish side, but they're very high ranking officials. Winnie Greco, she's the City Hall Asian Affairs Director. She is being accused of, but she has not been indicted, but this is why they raided her house. She is being accused of being the liaison between Mayor Adams and the Turkish government, with this guy, Sant Ocala, being the facilitator of certain meetups. So because he works for the airport, he would do things like make sure that the mayor gets on a plane with a certain Turkish official, or make sure that he's at the airport when certain people are there. And they would do like these little sneaky meetups with Ocal. And when he was in charge of inviting these Turkish officials to certain New York events that the mayor was involved in, like the governor's dinner, the mayoral dinner, certain fundraising things that they were having in New York, and things like that. So they're basically saying that Mayor Adams is taking bribes from these people. He's sharing secrets to them. He's helping them get certain contracts, as far as construction, building. He's letting them know certain things about our infrastructure, about our policing system, and stuff like that. So he's being accused of being, I guess, a double agent, like a spy, sort of. That's how I'm interpreting it. So that's what our great Mayor Adams is being accused of. Now, like I said, they have not actually charged anybody yet. Everybody is like an inquiry, except for Mayor Adams. Like, they kind of charged him, but on paper he's not charged yet. But like this reminds me of what happened a couple of months ago with one of our famous celebrities and his freak offs. They raided his house, and then 2-3 months later, that's when they arrested him. So I'm thinking this is gonna be the same way. It's sad because he's like the first Black mayor New York has had in years, since David Dinkins. And for him to be doing things like this, being a former police, like his whole career was NYPD, you would think that he would have more integrity and, you know, be a little more upstanding, especially because he's from the hood. Like, he's from my neighborhood. He's a kid that grew up in the hood. A tragedy happened to one of his friends in the 80s. She was unalived unexpectedly on a Christmas night by accident. Not It wasn't something random, it was something targeted, but her and another young lady, which was pregnant, ended up being unalived. And if anybody knows the song Renee from Lost Boys, the girl that I'm speaking about that like gave him the motivation to even become a police, that's Renee. That's the girl that he credits to, her unaliving, making him want to pursue being police. So you would think like that's very noble, but then to hear this is crazy. So now you heard what he's allegedly being indicted for. They already have one witness, which she probably is not the only one, because they're saying that more than these 16 people that I'm talking about today will be either indicted, questioned, or already have like charges. And this is a federal case in the South District of New York. Same court that has a 95% conviction rate, maybe even a little higher. So like I said, I'm speaking about this now because by December, we're going to start seeing arrests. And not for nothing, when I continue on to the other two cases, well, the other three cases, the people that are involved, the positions these people hold within the New York City government is crazy. Like, when I mean crazy, it is crazy. So remember, Adams, the middle of this web, has been accused of taking bribes and selling information to the Turkish government and doing election fundraising fraud. That's what he has been indicted with. Remember, he's the middle. I told you, look at it as a web. It's all going to come back to him. Okay, so next we have the NYPD bribery inquiry. So with this, we have like a family affair. I'm going to just call it how it is. So it's three brothers, one brother's girlfriend, and one person that's a longtime friend, 30 years of friendship with Mayor Adams. Mind you, one of the brothers also knows Mayor Adams from since they were young, like elementary school, grew up over here next to him and everything. So with the NYPD bribery inquiry, we have Timothy Parsons, which is the senior advisor for public safety. Fun fact though, this is how you know they've been like, I don't understand how this happens. Timothy Parsons, right before he became the senior advisor for public safety, he was the head of security at World's Casino. A casino security guard. The casino. The one right there on Rockaway, the first casino in Queens, the casino. How did you go from that to that? Like, this is where that level is. Like, the casino's down here, and you're up top of it. He was grandfathered in through Adams, and he's been Adams' friend since they've been little kids, like elementary school. See how it's going all, it's coming back to Mayor Adams. Next, we have Philip Banks III. He's a former police commissioner. He's also a friend of Mayor Adams, been his friend since they've been in the police academy. Then we have Philip's brother, David Banks, which is the NYC school commissioner. That means he's the head of the Department of Education. So we have a former police commissioner and the NYC schools commissioner. See what I mean by the jobs, like the titles of these people are crazy. also in this bribery inquiry is Sheena Wright, which is a girlfriend to one of the brothers. There's Philip Banks, which, like I said, is the NYC. David Banks is the NYC commissioner for schools. Sheena is his girlfriend. Now, Sheena is really only in this situation because they live together. So when they raided the house, she ended up getting all of her stuff confiscated too. But she's the first deputy to the mayor. So when I get I'm just explaining who everybody is, because when I get into what they're charged with, you will see how everything goes back to Mayor Adams. So Sheena is the first deputy mayor to Mayor Adams, and she's also David Banks's girlfriend, which is the school commissioner, which is Philip Banks's brother, who is the former police chief. And then we have Terrence Banks. Now, Terrence Banks is he's an ex-cop, but he works for a consultation firm for a tech company. So he's like, I guess you would call like a freelance employee. He goes around and he consults for these tech companies, but he works for himself. So his business is called Pearl Alliance. So what these four are accused of is taking bribes to let projects go through Terrence's firm that was hired by a different tech company. So basically, they're getting what's it called? He's helping them get like certain things pushed. Like if they need a bill pushed, if they need like something done with a building, if they want to buy something, if they want to build something, like all of these things that the company that he works for, whatever they need, him and his brothers and Timothy Persons were taking bribes to get them everything that they needed. So basically, they were working for an outside tech company and taking their money. So now, this is how it goes all the way back to Mayor Adams again. Like I said, Sheena, they're making it seem like she's only involved because she dates and she lives with David. But like I said, she's the first deputy mayor to the mayor. So from what the indictment states is that Terrence would talk to Sheena and David about like any contracts that needed to be filled, any building inspections that needed to be rushed or passed or whatever. And in turn, David would talk to either Philip or Timothy about it. They all consult, and either Philip, Timothy, or Sheena will go back to Mayor Adams and get all of this stuff done for this outside company that Terrence works for. See how it all comes back to Adams. This is why it is definitely a RICO coming to them. Like, it's all under one indictment. By the time they actually arrest everybody, I really think it's going to be a RICO. They are accused, the four of them, because, like I said, they're saying that Sheena is only in it as far as right now because they raided the house and like her cell phone and all of her tablet, laptop, all that stuff was confiscated. But basically the four of them are accused of getting about $18 million in bribes. Like I said, to push whatever agenda this outside company that Terrence is freelancing for wants. The next set of inquiries, you'll see where that comes in at. You'll see where the ties come in, where like as far as inspection and stuff like that, because lo and behold, the FDNY is also in this indictment. So far it's been the mayor, public safety, NYPD commissioner, NYC school chancellor, a deputy mayor, and a former senior advisor to the mayor. 6 people altogether. All right, so in this case, nobody has been charged yet. Like I said, they just did raids at the house. Basically, like I said, we just seen what happens. They raid your house, and then months later, they come back. And like I said, this is the South District of Queens. Feds, 95% conviction rate. They don't come after you unless they really have evidence. And if you heard what I was saying 5 minutes ago about the mayor's actual case, they already have somebody that's telling, that signed, that's being a witness, that has a deal, that signed a deal to tell. So that's 2. So now it's re-election campaign fund fraud, a scam, the straw donor scam. It's him having contact with the Turkish government officials and doing favors for them and getting monetary gain off that. Now it's bribery involving the NYPD through a tech company, a privately owned tech company, and NYPD officer, well, ex-NYPD commissioner and the ex-NYC, New York City Chancellor of Schools is involved in that. Also his first deputy mayor. Now the next case that we're going to go to, that's also another line to this web leading back to Mayor Adams, is the FDNY. Now with the FDNY, they have also a bribery inquiry. So now in the FDNY's case, there's 3 main people that they're looking at. So they're looking at Eric Altridge, which is the head of buildings. Like he's the head of the Department of Buildings, meaning that he's in charge of anything having to do with where a building is built at, if you get the permits for the building, funding for certain projects, the construction, hiring the people to do the construction, everything under that umbrella. Eric Alter is involved in that. Also, 2 ex-FDNY fire chiefs are involved in this too. Brian Corcasso and Anthony Sokorin. They are both ex-FDNY officers that's involved in this part of the indictment. So this is, like I said, bribery, but this is dealing with the FDNY. So now they are accused, the two ex-chiefs, they are accused of being a liaison between Eric Alter and the inspectors, the fire inspectors. So, like I said, if they need a building, they need to say that this building is good for inspection, even if it's not. Eric calls up Anthony or Brian. They go to whatever firehouse this building is supposed to be in, the area that the firehouse is at. They go talk to the inspector. They grease a little palm here, a little palm there. They get Eric what they need. Now, like I said, it's a web. This is how everything goes back to Mayor Adams. Being that the head of the Department of Buildings is also being charged with bribery, you have to think, where does it all correlate together? I'll tell you. So the case right before this one, I told you about the ex-commissioner, Philip Banks, his 2 brothers, one brother's girlfriend, and Timothy Parsons. The company that Terrence Banks works for also needed the 2 fire chiefs and the head of buildings to push through certain contracts. They were taking bribes. Everybody was shit. Like, it was basically a pyramid. Everybody was sharing this bribe from the bottom up, starting with the FDNY, because they're the ones that, are close to the inspectors. They can get to the fire inspectors, because before your building can open up, and I think this is anywhere, but I know definitely in New York, before your building, they have to inspect it. So they have to make sure that, all the codes are up to par and everything like that. So this is what they needed the FDNY for. Like I said, the brothers, the 3 brothers, the girlfriend, and Timothy Parsons, the Banks brothers, they were involved with this tech company. But the tech company still needs a building. The tech company still needs real estate to put that building on. So it all goes back. So now they, oh my God, what's his name? Okay, so Eric, which is the head of buildings, he gets in contact with either Philip or David. In turn, they get in contact with the mayor, and the bribe trail goes from there. This is why it's all under the one indictment, because everything connects dots. It's like they all needed each other to get these bribes, like to orchestrate these bribes and for it to go through. So, of course, if you're dealing with a tech company and they need buildings for their warehouse or whatever, their headquarters, you're going to need a FDNY inspector to come in there and say that your building's good so you can open it. So this is how they are involved. Now, nobody was arrested in this case either. They don't have any witnesses as far as I could tell. I done read a whole bunch of articles and I looked up a whole bunch of videos. Nobody has been arrested in this FDNY case, but everybody that I have spoke on already has resigned within the time of September 3rd to the 13th. Like dominoes, everybody resigned. The next thing we're going to talk about is another set of brothers. It's like a family affair. I don't know what's going on. But we're going to talk about the Cuba brothers. Edward Cuba is the former New York police commissioner, and his brother James Cuba, and a man named Raul Pentos, which is the NYPD's chief of staff. So they are accused of corruption. The accusations for the corruption goes as follows. They are accused of witness tampering, breaking the law to enforce the law, meaning that they were doing unconstitutional things to people that they were arresting, people that they were questioning, stuff like that. They are also accused of planting evidence, taking bribes from other officials and regular people to either put charges on people or take charges off. Basically, they didn't take any money. Basically, they're dirty cops, like dirty cops. Now, what's interesting with this case is, I don't know if you guys know, but once, like, if it's anything to do with your case and the police involved or the DA involved or anybody involved in the criminal, like the part that they're accusing you of in the courts are involved, and they get they end up with charges or they're found being corrupt, as you could say, a lot of cases are about to get thrown out. Anything that Edward Cava is involved in, anything. It could be cases in his district, they could just have like a match they could find out that's an acquaintance. Anything that man was involved in, if you were under that umbrella, you probably will get your case dismissed, because that's normally what happens. Like when a DA gets caught being dirty, or the precinct gets caught being dirty. So I guess that's kind of a good thing for whoever's been dealing with them, but it's just sad because you see it on the movies. I mean, we hear it on the news and stuff like that, but to actually see that they're going after a former commissioner for witness tampering, like planting evidence on people, that it's crazy. And I tell everybody in New York, our police are like the racists. Our police are the biggest gang out here, because we live in a police state. Like New York, we're different than everybody. It's mandatory 3 to 5 years if you're caught with a gun here. And they make it so hard for you to get a gun license in New York. When I mean hard, like you have to have your own business and you have to gross like an unimaginable amount that you have to take in cash to like the bank or something for them to even give you a license. We don't even have gun ranges out here. When we want to go to the gun range, you either have to go further out in Long Island, which you would say, oh, that's New York. But if you really lived here, Long Island's not really New York. Or you have to go to Jersey. So it's just like, we know our cops are crooked. We know they're corrupt. But to see the feds actually standing on business this time, I mean, like I said, nobody was charged. So we still have to see whether they're gonna stand 10 toes for real on these indictments. But like I also said, this is the Southern District of New York, and they don't come after you unless they know for sure that they're gonna catch you. Now, in this case, the 3 people that I named don't have charges, but there's two people that took deals that they will not give their names. They've already testified. They have their testimony on record. Me personally, I think that's what they're going off of to even bring up these charges on them. And they're both, I guess, heads of precincts. Two precincts. They won't even tell you which precincts. Like they won't tell you which borough or anything. But it's 2 police officers. That's the head of the precinct, and they've already took deals, and they're already singing like birds. So 9 times out of 10, these 2 are gonna go down. They're going down. Now, like I said, everything comes back to Mayor Adams, right? Edward, Big Eddie, Mr. Commissioner, he's also a close family friend to Mayor Adams. Knew Mayor Adams since they were in elementary school also. Him, Philip, which is the other commissioner for the NYPD, they're all like this. Okay? Now, fun fact before I go on to the last part of the indictment. So, as you know, Edward stepped down. He stepped down maybe a week ago. I think they raided his house on the 9th. He stepped down on the 11th, and we got a new intermediate. They said he's the intermedium police commissioner. I think he came into the picture maybe about the 18th, 17th, 18th. His house was just raided on Saturday morning. It has nothing, when I mean nothing, absolutely nothing to do with this case. But I just wanted to bring it up because when I tell you guys what he's being charged with, y'all gonna be like, get out of here, you're lying. So the person that Mr. Adams, our mayor, decided to put in place of the commissioner that stepped down is a former FBI officer. I mean, hey, why not? That's a good credential to, be a police commissioner. I mean, it's kind of a downgrade. I'd rather be FBI than NYPD, but hey, a job's a job, right? They ran up in his house because he stole, supposedly, allegedly, he stole documents when he was working for the FBI. So now we don't have a commissioner again. I can't make this stuff up. Like, I really can't make this shit. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this stuff up. Yes, honey, that's crazy, right? I cannot make this up. Like, I started, researching this a couple of days ago. And actually, the day that I started researching, Saturday, was the day that they raided his house. So not only the mayor is selling secrets to other governments, he's getting money for it. Not only FDNY is taking bribes to get these contracts and all this stuff going for people. Not only is the police planting evidence and arresting people because somebody paid them to do it or whatever, they put somebody else in there that steals from the FBI. New York, what is going on? What? Like, I don't understand what is going on. Like, for real, y'all are taking L after L after L after L. And what's bad about this really is that he's up for re-election. Mayor Adams. He is up for re-election. And let me just say this, because this is something I've done said in every one of my broadcasts. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. And I advocate for people to vote off of policy, not emotion. Now, this is the perfect example of why voting for emotion is not a good thing. I don't want to sound racist. I don't want to leave nobody out, but I'm talking to my Black and brown people because everybody that I just talked about, except for the one person that already took the deal, is either Black or Spanish. I live close to Mayor Adams. Our church right here, I don't know if you guys know who Floyd Flake is, but he has like one of the biggest mega churches in Queens. They pushed Adams so much on us. And of course, they're going to pander to the Black community because he's Black. And of course, a lot of the old people around here, because they know him, basically a lot of people in New York wanted him to be president. I mean, I said presidency. My mind is going there. Wanted him to be mayor because he was Black. He is the first Black mayor that New York has since David Dinkins, and I don't even remember what year David Dinkins was our mayor. When he came in, he grandfathered all these people. There was no election. There was no town hall meeting, no nothing. He grandfathered all these people in here. He brought back stop and frisk. He brought back TNT days, which that's when the gun and drug squad comes out on Tuesdays and Thursdays and jump out on you, the jump out boys. He brought all this stuff back. Our kids are getting harassed now. Even down to New York, it's legal to smoke marijuana, recreational. We can smoke in front of the police. He let these people build up their businesses for a whole year, all these marijuana spots. And then he just came in and shut everybody down. He burnt a whole bunch of weed the other day. And he's a Black man. And because he's a Black man, everybody was like, yay. But all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Because they didn't use that money to fix New York. Our crime is still through the roof. We have the most nasty and disgustingest roads. Like, our potholes are crazy. We have one of the worst school systems in the United States. And these are all, everything I named, the people that are involved in these indictments are all the heads of all of this stuff. Help me understand. Like, for real, help me understand. Did you really get into this into the political world to help, or did you just come in to make a quick buck and get out, or to not even a quick buck, to actually milk the system to your advantage? Because you're supposed to be in there as a public servant. I mean, if you were doing all that corrupt stuff and you was helping the community, and we had better schools and the crime was down and we had better roads and stuff, New York would have stood behind. We'd have stood up right behind you, because it's one thing to be crooked for a reason than to just be crooked as like selfishness, especially when you're a public figure. So I really want to know, like, what did you get into it for? Because not for nothing, he always tells this story about how he got into wanting to be like police, because he's had a long career. I'm talking about Mayor Adams, has a long career as police. He's been in the police department for, I think, 35 years. And I don't know, you guys' preference of music or whatever, but he said that he got into it because somebody was on the live that he knew, he went to school with, and she was a stray, like she got hit with a stray. Her and another young lady was unalive. The other young lady was pregnant, and that's what he got into it for. And if anybody knows hip hop like that, the song Renee from the Lost Boys, that's the girl they're talking about. That's who like made him want to become a cop and do things. So how did you go from wanting to help because of a tragedy that happened to you when, you was a teenager? I think the girl was like 15. They were all around the same age, just started high school, to being this corrupt. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. And then to sell secrets, you're selling secrets and information to a foreign country, knowing what the state of the world is right now. We're already in 3 wars. We already have people trying to infiltrate and hack our computer system, hack the election, national security is like top priority right now for us because of what's going on. Between all the shenanigans going on with the election, us looking weak with that, us looking weak with other foreign policies, for you to really be conspiring with another country just to financial gain. Like, it's not like you're actually, I don't know. I guess it would be different if you were like, for instance, the governor, her aide just got arrested. Her aide and her husband just got arrested. But they got arrested because they had solid evidence that she was giving China information for money. Like, she was giving China information for money. Her name is Linda Sun, S-U-N, and her husband name is Chris Hung, H-U. They were both charged with actually giving China information for money. But they're both Chinese. That was just the point that I'm making. Like, what actual gain did you get out of that besides the financial gain? And what was it worth, like, really giving up, I guess, like breaking the security of New York? Because you got to think about it. NYPD, that's supposed to be our security. That's our first line of defense, right? Then the fire department is involved. That's also kind of like a part of our line of defense, because, like I said, when 9/11 happened, the firemen ran there. Like, I remember that day. It was firemen from Queens. It was firemen from Brooklyn, the Bronx, Mount Vernon, Staten Island. They were going. Everybody went down to the World Trade Center. They ran into those buildings. Like, this is how New York sees they're firemen. Like, we hold them to a higher standard actually than the police. So that's two lines of defense. Then you have somebody that works for the school system that's involved in this. Our school system is already corrupt. How do we know that you're not implementing things that foreign countries want you to implement to change the thought process of the children, or to just, I don't know, some way, somehow control something through the school system? We don't know this. So it's just crazy to me that selling the selling secret part is like, oh my God. Because like I said, we live in New York. Well, I live in New York. We know our police is corrupt. We say it all the time. Between our police and the LAPD, two most corrupt police departments in America, hands down. We know this already. But isn't that treason? Wouldn't that be considered like, are we even cool with Turkey? I don't even think we're cool with them. What are you doing? Just to get first class seats, to get in rooms with people, to make deals about infrastructure and things that don't even matter because you're not implementing it in the city. It's mad abandoned buildings still. Mad potholes. Like I said, our schools ain't ish. It ain't ish. And then because we are a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city, you ain't even take that money to like help the illegals out. They don't have places to sleep. There's a park right here on Jamaica Avenue. It's called Kings Park, right? It's like a historical little park over here. They still have a slave house in the park. Kids go there on school trips and stuff like that to see the slave house. And, you know, like they still have like the toys that the slave children used to play with and stuff like that. So like it's kind of a museum. There's illegals sleeping in there on blow-up beds in the park. You didn't even take the money and do something right. Like I said, we're New Yorkers. Like, we know how to hustle. We're like born with a hustling mentality. So if you really did that, but utilized it to help us, we would be standing behind you right now. You know what most people I talk to from New York is doing right now, Mayor Adams? They're laughing at you because you just really enhance the stereotype of what they already think about us. But you were so cocky and so, you know, forthcoming that you were going to be like one of the best mayors we ever had. That now it's just like, wow. But anyway, let me get to this last indictment. But I told you guys, it's what a tangled web we weave, right? Like, how do you go from bribery, corruption, like crazy? It's all like crazy to me. It's all crazy. Actually, I think, okay, so those are the 4 charges. So, like I said, we have the mayor with his donation scheme for his election, plus him being involved with the Turkish government in a way that he's not supposed to. We have one set of NYPD dealing with corruption as far as planting evidence, taking evidence away, taking money to set certain people up and things like that. Then we have the NYPD also involved in bribery through the 3 brothers and the one that's not NYPD's contract to deal with this big major tech company, which is also not based in America, but for some odd reason, I could not find where they're based from. And then we have the bribery charges for the FDNY with the building inspections and certain contracts and stuff like that. And within these 4 different sets of charges under this one indictment, there are 6 police officers, a school commissioner, 3 FDNY officers, 2 mayoral staff members, and the mayor of New York. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and I want y'all to come up and tell me what y'all think about this, because I went through it and I could not believe what I was reading. And like I said, he's up for re-election. I live in New York. This has been a big thing. A lot of people is really interested about this. What did you say, Buttercup? So what was the reason the pleading was ignored? What you mean, Buttercup? I don't know, but I enjoy turkey sandwich every now and then. Not that kind of turkey, not the turkey that they recalled. We need to talk about all these recalls too. But, oh, hey, Miss Pammy. Hey, let me bring Miss Pammy up. Hi, Miss Pammy.
Hey. Let me
How
get
are you?
Quickly, because you know I can get long with. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. You sound low.
Let's see if I can turn this up. Can you hear me now?
You're still low. I can hear you a little bit, but I don't know. It sounds like you have headphones on.
I do. Let me take them off. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Y'all bear with me.
I was talking about the X.
Okay. How about now?
You're still really low. I don't know what's going on. You have put it on speaker?
Yeah.
See if you put it on speaker.
How about now? Can you hear me?
I don't know why I still can't hear you.
Okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out and come back in. I'm going to go out and come back in.
No, it's not me. Everything is up on my side.
I'm going to go out and come back.
You want to go out and try to come back in? Yeah, go out and try to come back in. All right. I was talking about the execution. What execution? What are you talking about, Buttercup? A shell company meaning what, Henny? Like, is there a shell company that they're using as far as to like launder money? Right now, I don't think so. They haven't said anything about that. They're basically, when I was talking about like the straw donorship, the straw donations, it could be a person. It doesn't have to be a company. They could just say, like, say I donate money to, let's say, Kamala, but I use your name instead. But it's my money and I work for the campaign, or I'm getting it from somebody else. We could, like, it's like a whole thing where they're evading taxes with it and all that. It's like you're like kind of laundering the money to yourself. That's what it was like when I read what a straw donation is. That's what the definition of it. Oh yes, the company that I couldn't find the information on, yes, that definitely has to be a shell company. Either that or whatever the company like sells, whatever the product is, or whatever the company has under its umbrella is something that the feds do not want us to know about. So, Miss Tammy, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You're still low. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Let me see.
Closer.
Everything's up on this side. I don't know why, but I still can't hear you, Miss Pammy. Oh man.
Let me try to turn it up. Okay.
Is your
What about,
phone on speaker?
let me see.
Oh, you can hear Miss Pam? I wonder why I can't hear her.
They can hear me. They can hear me.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like put the phone to my ear because I don't know what's going on with StreamYard right now. So let me see
Did you
audio.
hear me?
A little bit. Hold on. Talk now.
Okay. Can they hear me?
Yes. Now I can
Okay.
hear you. Perfect.
Okay. You said that. Can you elaborate a little bit on when you said they had done some election stuff? What did they do with that? Did they do?
Okay. So he's up for re-election, Mayor
Mm-hmm,
Adam. So
mm-hmm,
what they are being accused of is that the money that came in for his re-election campaign,
uh-huh.
they got it through these straw donations, which are like
Okay.
I guess they were laundering money through fake people, but
And
the money actually was coming from the Turkish government in
okay.
exchange for secrets and favors.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with any of the rest of the election. It's just for the local
Yeah.
mayoral election.
For the mayoral
Oh,
election, yes, just for his election.
okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with Trump and Kamala.
Like, wait a minute
No.
now. He better stop it and stop it right now, because we ain't finna
It doesn't have nothing,
challenge over again.
but he raised they said that he's accused of making 80 million doing that
That's
from
just.
the
I mean, you know what? It. Let me tell you. I'm black. I'm gonna be black. I'm gonna wake up black. I'm gonna die black. I'm gonna be black. Not, I don't care what color you are. You have some that are not ever going to be honest. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And
You're absolutely right.
that is the reason why a lot of us are not trusted, because you get one or two that will do what they are doing. And
Mm-hmm.
it infuriates me that we can see someone else do it and we think we can do it too, or we can do it even better. Now, why would you think that he could do something with the Turkish government and not be found out? Come on now. Why? Why would you think you could do that and get away with it? That to me is just ludicrous. Why would you even try something like that? But I mean, like I say, we always
Exactly.
they take a mile, and it's ludicrous. So
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's why I said. That's why I try to. I know, like you know how I am. Like I'm very open minded, so I could see both sides. I don't like to argue about stuff. I'd rather have discussions. But that's why I always say, like, people shouldn't vote on emotions because emotions will stop you from seeing the bigger picture sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I was trying to explain. Like, we were so hyped that he came from our neighborhood. It's a prominent black man that got a great career in the NYPD, and then look, you know.
but I will tell you something, and it may be because I'm not a New Yorker, but as soon as I saw him, you gotta admit it. When you see him, you be like, you do give it a second look, like, okay, I see you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you give him a second look, you like, and then when he started getting the news for a couple of things, you be looking like,
Uh-huh.
hands that get your hands out of your pocket. You do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something about him where, and then when I start to second, because he's not, I mean, not a fucker. But when he started, coming up in the news, I started kind of second guessing him. And then I second guessed myself and I started thinking I'm just being judgmental. But there were a couple of things that, he was in the news for. And I'm kind of like looking at him sideways and I'm like, okay,
Miss
stop.
Family, give me 1 second, okay? Hold on.
Y'all, did she leave me up here by myself? Can y'all see me? Am I in the back? I hope I'm in the back. Because if I ain't in the back, I'm making a fool out of myself. Put my glasses on. If I'm making a fool out of myself, let me look like a smart fool. Okay, this is awkward. I'm gonna come down.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that, Miss Pammy. If you're still in here, I am so sorry about that. My husband just called and interrupted the live. You could come back up if you would like to. But yeah, he does have like that sneaky kind of, you have to watch him kind of look to him. He definitely does. Like, not for nothing, I always didn't trust, as Black people, we don't really trust the police. We don't. But being that he was from the neighborhood and, he's our kinfolk, our skin folk, everybody thought he was kinfolk, and come to find out that he really was only in it for what he was in it for, I got a funny story to tell y'all too. So I know I came on late. I was like a whole hour late. And the reason why I was late is because I was talking to you guys for a whole hour and did not know I did not press the like button. So why are you uncomfortable, Miss Pammy? I told you there's no reason to be ashamed. Nothing that it's an opinion, There's no reason for you to be ashamed of your opinion. It's good to have opinions, even if you don't live here, because at the end of the day, this might help somebody else that works. I said work, that lives in other states. When it's time to like go and vote for certain things like this. That's why I tell people all the time that you really need to start from the bottom when it comes to voting. Like, yeah, the presidential election is like a big thing right now, but look at what we're dealing with in New York right now. And this is all people that was or could have been elected on a local level. And because people don't go out and vote for things on a local level, that's how Eric Adams was able to grandfather these people in without getting a public opinion on if they should even have these positions or not. And like I said, these are people that are in charge of like the major components of what makes New York City run. The buildings, the FDNY, the police, the schools, like the mayor's office, then to have a situation in the governor's office also at the same time, it's really it's giving NY's whole governmental system is about to fall and crash. Like, and it's sad. It really is. But I was saying, this is why I tell people, don't vote off of emotions. You really have to look at people's policies, and you have to hold their feet to the fire. Because there's one thing to vote off of policy, and it's something called benign neglect. That's what they said the Democrats have been giving Black people for decades now. That's the whole argument on the other side of why a lot of Black people don't want to vote Democrat right now, because they'll tell you, yes, give you promises. Yeah, I promise we'll do this, we'll do that. And then when they get in office, it's like they forget all about you and they don't give you what you asked for or what they told you were going to get. But this is why we have to be more active in our communities, like front lines, in the streets, really being active with what's going on. Because look, like the whole corruption thing, it's a lot of us that live in New York that have family members that have been arrested or detained for no reason, you know? But then to really know that the commissioner, like the ex-commissioner, really were putting fake cases on people and planting evidence and doing all this stuff. And he was grandfathered in. It wasn't even like the people picked him. So yeah, we're New Yorkers. Yeah, we complain about what's going on, but what are we really doing to stop it? Like, if we were all out and was willing to vote and they felt our presence, it would have been a vote. You know, it would have been a vote. And then it doesn't stop there. When they're in there, you have to put their feet to the fire. Like, you have to make sure that they're giving you exactly what they promise. But I just feel like I said, New York is already, a lot of New Yorkers already moved out of New York. The cost of living is already high. Like I said, our roads suck, schools suck. Like, so to see the corruption in our government, in our local government, is not really a surprise, but it is kind of a surprise, being that this is the type of thing that you see in the movies when it goes from governor all the way down to a building inspector to the FDNY, and all in between there's nothing but bribes and misconduct and misuse of information and collecting millions of dollars for personal gain and basically neglecting the position you were, especially when it comes to Adams, because we voted you in. You're neglecting the people in the position that we voted you into. Like I said, New Yorkers are funny. We're funny. If he was doing all this corrupt stuff and actually helping our city and fixing our city, we would have stood behind him. That's how New Yorkers are. That's why most New Yorkers, sorry to say it, but most New Yorkers are standing behind Trump. Because, like I said, we have that hustle spirit. We know what it is to have to cut corners and sometimes do some illegal things just to make ends meet and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So we could have forgave that. If you had to do something evil to make something right, you could have been forgiven. You would have had the people behind you. It would have been hard for them to prosecute you with the people behind you, but you had that opportunity to get financial gain for yourself and be selfish, and it was only for you and your friends, you know? And then to know that, like I said, these people have been his friends since elementary school, 30 years of friendship. How is the director of public affairs, how is he an ex-security guard? Like, nothing's wrong with being a security guard. Do not get me wrong. Henny, I love you. There's nothing wrong with being a security guard. My whole thing is, from a security guard of a casino to public safety for a whole state, a whole city, it's crazy to me. Like, where's this man's credentials? What did he do prior to that? Even though I think he did like 5 years as a police officer, but still, he wasn't anything high ranking or anything like that. So you see how much pull Mayor Adams actually has. So why didn't you use that pull for good? You know, and this is really like rocking New York City right now. This is all a lot of people's talking about, because like I said, in my 42 years of living, I've never, I mean, I said it before, NYPD is corrupt. Our government is corrupt. We know this, but to actually see it and for the feds to actually take action, it's like a wow, finally moment, but then it's a regret because of who they're taking down, you know? Like, Why did y'all have to be black? That's how I'm looking at it. Like it's just you're strengthening the stereotype of what most people think we are about anyway. That we lie and we cheat and we cut corners to get by and to do what we need to do. And I mean, most of us do, but it's to live. It's to support our families and stuff like that. You're not so 80 million altogether with the four separate bribery corruption charges in the indictment. It's about 200 and something $1 million worth of bribes between everybody. Do you know what 200 and something $1 million could have did for New York? For our infrastructure, for our schools, even for like the police department and stuff like that. It could have did wonders. Do you know we almost paid like $4 to get on the bus one way, bus and train over here? If I'm not mistaken, it's $3.25 right now. Bus to travel one way on the bus or the train. So when you see all these prices are so high, and on top of that, you're not giving my child a good education. I'm switching out my tires every couple of months because there's always a pothole or a sinkhole or anything. People are getting put out of their houses because they can't pay their water bill and their gas bill. And then to see that you're in this prominent position, that we actually elected you and put you there to help us, and you're just helping yourself, is like a real slap in the face. And it hurts even worse because he's one of us, you know? So I really don't know what to say to New York. Like, I'm baffled. I'm not baffled at the corruption and stuff because we know what's going on. I'm just baffled of how, excuse me, how deep it runs, and how everything is so, like, everything is connected to Mayor Adams. Everything goes back to him. Whether it's because he's getting a percentage off of their payoffs, which they mentioned that he was getting like percentage off the FDNY bribes and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, even though Altridge is like the head of buildings, it still has to go through the mayor. So not only are you frauding people of your campaign, well, you're not really frauding people. You're actually taking money from somewhere you're not supposed to take it. And you're making millions and millions of dollars selling secrets or having these secret meetings, whatever you're doing with these Turkish people, whatever you and the people in the Turkish government, the higher officials in the Turkish government has going on, it was worth $80 million. And not for nothing, $80 million is a lot. So you must have gave them something very substantial for them to give you a total amount of $80 million. Like, that's the numbers you see in a presidential election. That's like, I think maybe 40 or 50 more million. That's how much Kamala raised for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. And then for it to be all your friends, it's like you brought in a whole team to like disrupt and disorganize our whole governmental system from where you're standing at. And it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And like I said, this is the feds. The feds let you go and go and go until they have the evidence to lock you up and throw away the key. And then in RICO charges, once they do charge them, because nobody has been charged. It's only indictments. Okay, so everybody gets indicted. It's not technically a charge. If they put that RICO name on that, then it's definitely a charge. Then now it's going into racketeering, which, if you were listening to me explain, what's going on with everybody with the bribery, Basically, that's what it is. Henny was saying something in chat about shell companies. Like, yeah, shell companies, shell people, being that the straw donations are random people that probably don't exist, that they're just making up the names to put the money in their name so they won't know exactly where the money is coming from, or it's a company that they're funneling through, that the FDNY chiefs and the Department of Buildings, head of the Department of Buildings is like funneling it through. So it's just crazy. Like, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Like, the whole situation is just, I don't know. And then how did you get yourself caught up in it? How did you let that whole web come back to you? Because like I said, I connected the dots. Everything goes back to him. Everything goes back to him. Like, whether it's the corruption as far as the tech company that Terrence Banks works for, which him and his two brothers, the brother's girlfriend, and their longtime friend, who is also a longtime friend of Mayor Adams, is helping getting these building contracts and all this stuff from the FDNY and the head of buildings. But it's still got to come through the mayor. Like, everything that they're doing, except maybe the police corruption, maybe he didn't have firsthand knowledge of that. But I guarantee that he had some kind of knowledge, because NYPD has been corrupt forever. I'm sure it's been corrupt ever since he was in the academy. So he already knows what's going on with that. So that might have been a, I'm not giving you permission, but you got permission type thing. But with all the bribery charges, everything links back to him. Either he has final say, or they're accusing him of taking a percentage off of the bribes. So, like Power 105, Charlemagne would say, I'm giving Mayor Adams the donkey of the century, because, boy, you messed up bad. Like, you messed up bad. Because if they indict you, not only is your whole police career down the drain, you are going to jail. Like, the same place that you been putting people this whole time in your career, that's where you're going to go. And the worst crime would be, is if I'm waiting to see if Homeland Security steps in, only because of the connection between him and Turkey, and like selling information to them for financial gain. Homeland Security might step into that. And if that's the case, he's in way more trouble than this indictment can ever put him in. He's going to be in way more trouble, because they, with the governor's ex-aide, Linda Sun, the Homeland Security is already looking into her. Homeland Security and the CIA, because of the connection she has with the Republic of China. They're a communist country. Like, we play nice, but we're not, as far as countries go, we don't get along. There's always a threat of war between us. They don't like our Western values. We think they're like they have communist values. So, like I said, it's borderline giving spy, like 007. Like, you're playing both sides. You're giving up information to get money. To do what, though? Like I said, you didn't even do anything good with it. So, I mean, that's the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. So, like I said, Mayor Adams has been indicted along with 16 other people, all peers, all colleagues, most of them friends, like close friends, and it's going down. I give them, by November, December. and the arrest warrants will come out. Like I said, they already have one person that's already took a deal and is a witness for the prosecution against him for the donation fraud and the corruption case with the Cuba brothers, Edward and James. There's already two captains, which they will not disclose their identity or anything. That's already witnesses for the prosecution too. So it's just a matter of time before the indictment actually turns into a RICO and there's actually charges being brought. Because the indictment really was just for them to, raid the houses to find more evidence. You know, so nobody has been arrested, nobody has been detained, only the governor's aide and her husband, but they bonded out, so they're not even, still locked up. Raina, which is the witness for Mayor Adams' case itself, she took a deal, so she's free and clear. And everybody else, like I said, they're either looking to see if they were involved or they can get evidence through their involvement. So we have to really wait and see what's going on. But I just wanted to come up here and let you guys, know what's going on with that, because for for that to be what it is, like the mayor of New York and 16 co-conspirators all having prominent jobs in the government for New York State and New York City, is really crazy. I don't even know if any other state even experienced anything like this before. So I just wanted to come up here and like discuss it, talk about it. Like I said, I'm not into like reading the court docs and stuff. I skimmed through, well, not skimmed, I read through stuff, and I'm going to give you the gist of it. I'm going to put it in a way that, you understand, because even reading some of these charges, and like I said, I had to look up what a straw donation is, and I had to look up certain words. So I'll be trying to give it to you guys in the most understandable form. I wouldn't even say simple, because we're not simple. Everybody's smart. It's just some people, you know, it's better when you put things in plain English, as they would say with some people. So I just wanted to come up here and let you guys know. Like I said before at the beginning, I'm sorry for the late start. I've been dying laughing at myself inside this whole time, because I was talking to you guys for a whole hour and I didn't press the live button. So this is the second time that I'm actually doing this. Mm. um, Hopefully my next live will be more organized, and you know, I won't have these problems. Bear with me. I'm just starting out, but I feel like this is important, being that our presidential election is so important. I feel like it's my time to really step into kind of helping to educate, and just even not even educate, just making people aware of what's going on. Miss Pammy, I'm definitely looking into Project 2024 for you. I mean 2025. Um, it's 900 pages, so bear with me. You might get that next week, and it might just be a short video where I break down each point of like how they want to run the government, what they're going to do about the economy, what they're going to do about the education system, and stuff like that, because they have bullet points for everything you could think about concerning the government, like every area of the government. So that's definitely coming up. I'm working on something else that's going on that kind of involves the election but doesn't. It involves immigration. I'm not gonna say too much, because I just started kind of looking into it and researching it, and I haven't really found enough information to share yet. So I'm gonna like, kind of see where that goes. But um It's been great talking to you guys for the second time, even though the first time y'all didn't hear me. um, check me out on Instagram. It's Hood Politicking without the G, with T. My Insta stories is always lit. I'm always reposting everything, whether you live in New York, you live in Chicago, wherever you live at. I post anything that's substantial news from everywhere. I always post about the election, what's going on. I also have posts about the other two candidates, which nobody really talks about or knows about, which is Cornel West and Jill Stein. So if you want to know about a alternative candidate besides Trump or Kamala, definitely check out my Insta story. I post stuff about the wars that's going on all over. There was just a nuclear bomb that was like deployed the other day in the Middle East. Right now, we are under threat from Iran. It's a lot of stuff going on. We're about to get something called a tiny moon, and supposedly we'll see a tiny moon next to the big moon in, I think maybe we'll probably get to see it tonight, depending on if it's cloudy or not. Because I'm not sure if they said the 24th or the 25th. I got to go back and check. But we're supposed to have this moon for like 2 weeks, and then it's gonna disappear. So I'm gonna be checking for that. If I see it, I'll take like a real life right there picture and post it on my page. What else? If you guys want me to look into anything for you, just DM me. You could DM me on Instagram. You could leave a comment on the video and I'll check it out. I summarized everything, but I have 14 pages of nothing but research on this whole indictment. And the reason why I summarized it, because like I said, when I was reading and trying to understand, a lot of things is like, okay, a lot of things you could just cut out and get to the meat and potatoes of like the whole situation. You don't have to draw it all out with, okay, well, they did this and this year and they did that. No. This is what they're charged of. This is what the allegations are. This is the connection to it. This is who they're connected to. And basically, that's all you really need to know. Besides all of that, does it really matter how much people are actually involved in something like this? Does it really matter how much money? I don't think so. What actually matters is if what they're accused of is evidence found and they were really doing what they was accused of, you know? So thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, next time I'll make sure I press the live button. Thank you for everybody that was commenting in the chat. Thank you, Miss Pammy, for coming up. You always saving me coming up. Um, oh, page 27. Yes, I am. I already got to that. That's when they're saying that they want President Trump to like stay in office forever. There won't be another election. So I've gotten that far. I've definitely gotten that far, but um, yeah, I think you would be interested on what I found out so far about that. So I'm definitely gonna give that to you, Miss Family. Like you asked me, and I will deliver. I already started taking some notes, and I really want to break that down. All 30. I think there's 30 points in there, so I want to break down all 30 points that they have for Project 2025. So I guess that's it. Thank you for you guys for letting me just, I guess, pop my ish about what's going on. You know, this, like I said, I'm from New York. This is kind of, well, not even kind of, this is near and dear to my heart because I live in this city, you know? And what makes it even worse is because the mayor, it comes from my neighborhood. And I'm very disappointed. I am. As a constituent, as a citizen of New York, shit, as a black woman, I am very disappointed in Mayor Eric Adams. I am. And the whole, everybody that's been involved in this whole conspiracy, RICO, bribery, corruption, whatever they was involved of. I'm very disappointed. So I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And like I said, I'll see you guys next time. I know I was supposed to have been live a couple of days ago, but you know, life be life and this took me a couple of days to research. One indictment, 16 people, 4 different cases. So it took me a great deal of time. Everything that I've talked about, my references, I'll put it inside of the description too. But my references has been the New York Post, CNN, their website CNN, um, Fox News. As far as on YouTube, their YouTube channel on Fox News. I also got stuff from, let's see, ABC, NBC, and no, not CBS. I didn't take anything from CBS. Um, I forgot the other name, but I'll put everything in the description. So if you want to fact check me, you want to look it up yourself to find out more. Maybe you feel like I didn't give you all the juice you needed or all the information you wanted. I welcome anytime I say anything to you guys. I welcome for you to go fact check me or go look it up for yourself. That's the best way to do it. You're never supposed to take nothing nobody say off face value anyway. You're supposed to always check for yourself. So on that note, I'm gonna bid you guys adieu. And I guess I'll see you guys the next time I go live. And like I said, Miss Pammy, I definitely got you. Just give me maybe by the end of the week. And if you want, we can kind of do a panel. If you have, questions, we could do a panel on Project 2025 because I'm in it deep. I am in it deep. I think I'm on like page 70 something, and it's 900 pages. So I definitely got you, and I will summarize it because we're not gonna go through 900 pages. That's not gonna happen, and we'll summarize it. So thank you guys. I love you guys, and the next time I go live, hopefully you guys are here. Love you. Bye.